Good day, all. I pray that everybody's having a great day. I wanted to follow up to all of our leaders. I wanted to follow up, first of all, thanking you again for your time and attention on last night. For those of you that were able to join us for our Monday night leadership meeting, we began a great discussion. Um, a discussion that was needed. It was a discussion that took an extreme amount of time. But as I said, some things we can't pray through, some things we have to process through. And so while we're praying, we still have to have conversations. We still have to begin to put plans in place and strategize. And that takes time. And again, it can't be done in one setting. And so again, we're thankful that the discussion was started. We're having to figure out ways to bridge the gap. We're having to figure out ways to establish this ministry that it can continue to be life-changing to those and continue to be an asset to the community, continue to have relevance within the community, within the city, within the state for days, years to come. We want to be able to look back on this ministry 20 years from now and be able to say what we began in 2021 truly set the pace and set the tone for now. 2050. We want this ministry to live to be 100 years old. It is only what, 52, 53, 54, whatever the years are, 52 years, 53 years. It's still young, considering. And so we want to make sure that one day somebody has an opportunity to celebrate this ministry's 100th year anniversary. But that can only happen because of what we do now. And so last night's discussion was needed, but we still have work to do. And so because we were lengthy in that particular discussion, I did not get a chance to go over some things that we need to kind of do in these next 30 days. And so I wanted to kind of do a follow-up today just to make sure we are all on the same page concerning last night. And as we move forward, we talked a lot about how we grow this ministry. We talked a lot about how we recapture, the audience that we had, but the audience that we desire. And so one of the things that were brought up is that we have to have a target audience. And that target audience is between the years of 20 and 40 years old with children, so that we can continue to develop Christians, make disciples, so that again, this ministry has a longevity. And so that's going to take us marketing within the house and without. On the outside, we're going to have to, be on top of our marketing strategy. A lot of that marketing has a lot to do with you, word of mouth. Are you sharing our posts? It shouldn't be a thing where, and this is one thing that I did not bring up last night, it can't be a thing where I'm the only one sharing the post and two or three others. I'll share a post about Bible study and I may have 3 or 4 people to like it. I may have another 3 or 4 people to share it. It's too many of us for that to be the testimony. So we gotta do better with our marketing. We gotta do better with talking about our own ministry. If we don't talk about our own ministry, how can we expect anybody to be drawn to it? And so we have to get on top of our marketing. We have to show them that it is more to us than Sunday morning. So we got to make sure that we allow all of our generations to be visible. It was brought up last night. We need to start incorporating our youth in worship. But parents, we need you to get the youth back into worship. We need to get you back in worship so that your children can come to worship. We want to utilize them. We want to make sure they understand the fundamentals of working in ministry and not just being on the dance team or not just singing on the choir. We don't even have a youth choir anymore. And that's really sad, because we should be raising up our children in ministry, not just to know how to do a sport, not just to do something in school and know the ins and outs of social media. We need to be raising them up in ministry. So parents, we're counting on parents to get our youth back in ministry so that we can utilize them and we can train them. We are going to have to provide sources of leadership training so that when these young people come in, they can be developed and trained in the right way. Yes, there are a lot of things that they're going to learn by watching, but the generation that's coming up, they need to be developed from an educational standpoint as well, so that they'll know why they do what they do. And so we got to develop leaders through training and development. We got to be intentional while we're at church. This don't cost us nothing but time. We got to be intentional to go out of our way and connect with somebody, especially the men. And so after service, don't just run out because, I got to get out of here. This COVID thing. Yeah. On your way out, at least connect with somebody, speak to somebody, let them know it is good to see them in the house of the Lord. Let's be intentional about showing unity and togetherness and family. But we need to make sure that when there's a young person, appreciate them for being there. That age bracket, we need to see them, and they also from the outside needs to see and know that there's a place for them. Sheep beget sheep, sheep beget sheep. Disciples make disciples. Others will be drawn by people that they can relate to. That was one of the reasons we start using lay persons during our time away. We started using lay persons to extend the welcome and to greet our public. We wanted to show our versatility. But if we're not showing any excitement about being where we are, or if it looks like we've rehearsed what we're saying, or somebody's holding a gun to our head to say it, then we're not going to draw anybody like that. And so, I guess I've had a little practice doing this. Practice, get in your mirror, practice talking, practice smiling, whatever the case may be. But people are going to be drawn by movement and authenticity. One of the things we brought up is, the month of August, we need to kind of push for evangelism this month. I'm going to be planning our back to school weekend along with our youth day service. We got to plan our family and friends activities or weekend. We got to plan moments for evangelism this month so that we can start the process of drawing others to the house. But keep in mind that there has to be in reach as well as outreach. We can't forget about those who may have been lost along the way. So we gotta plan for in reach and outreach. We need to continue to develop that thought process and methods how to make that happen. So evangelism team, y'all might have to get together and have a powwow, have a come to Jesus meeting yourselves and figure out, start planning. It's not just about passing out tracts, but it's about having an authentic connection with people so that they'll know this is a friendly place to be. This is a place they want to be. So that may mean evangelism team passing out flyers, but it also may mean a social media push. That may mean persons from various entities getting on social media and doing a 10-minute blurb to draw others. That may be a 5-minute blurb, if for those of you who do your own personal ministries, so at the end of your personal ministry spiel, you may say, and while I'm here, let me invite you to my church. Let me invite you to come and experience what God is doing at EMBC. That's how we continue to draw more audiences. We get people with like minds, to know this is where I get my food from. This is how I have my spiritual foundation. It draws others. But we got to really put some work behind that. Okay. Leaders, I need your help. Not just your prayers, and God knows I appreciate them, but I need your help. I need your hands. I need all hands on deck. We got to talk to those that we lead. We got to talk to them about participation. online participation, but you've got to be online as well. If we're going to continue with Bible study online, as we've discussed, we need your participation online. That's how we get people excited about Sunday, because they see how we are excited on Wednesday. If we put out a flyer, help me by sharing that flyer. If we're online, help me by participating in the conversation. And I've heard many of you say, well, I just pop it up on my TV and I say, I get that word and I get it. I understand it. But every now and then, get your phone in your hand too and participate online. Believe it or not, that's what draws others to the live stream. When they see you commenting, it draws others to our live stream because it begins to populate your timeline. That's how this thing works. If it's only 2 or 3 gathered in his name and 2 and 3 are saying something, it's only showing on their timelines. But when you begin to participate, it shows others watching your timeline what you're talking about. So leaders, if nobody else is online, I need you online on Wednesday nights. You want me to keep it online for a reason. Let's show that we can be accountable and responsible to the decisions that we've made. Encouragement is everything. As a leader, you encourage others to follow your lead, but you've got to be taking the lead. Encourage members to listen to announcements, which means you got to listen to the announcements. We send the announcements out via text. We make sure that there's a link in our announcements on Tuesdays. You have access to the callback number now every day of the week. You've got to make sure you know what's going on so that you can help others know what's going on. The text message that I send out is to like 96 people. Of course, we got way more than that in our church, but that's all the people who have signed up for our text messaging system. I can go out right now and see that there are probably only 50, 60 persons who have listened to our announcements. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. So we got to make sure, leaders, that you do your part and encourage those that you lead to do their part. We are preparing for our school giveaway. So make sure that you start getting the word out, and you yourself help us with our school supplies that are due by August the 8th. That's the second Sunday in August. We have our church conference on August the 7th. And so we'll make a final push on that day as well. But we want to make sure that leadership and membership come out on August the 7th for our meeting. We'll make a big push then for everybody to bring some kind of school supply on August the 8th, because we want to make sure we have enough to give to our community. And I know a lot of people say all these things going on around the city, they get what they want. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. We want to make sure we do our part. All right. I'm encouraging all of our cluster leaders, make sure you are meeting with your ministries as soon as possible. And I will share those ministries with you once again. We have these ministries that I am involved with, and I want those ministries to be on the lookout for a meeting sooner than later. Our deacons and deaconess, our trustees, our benevolence, our pastoral care, our armor bearers, ministerial staff. I met with them. I've met with deacons and trustees on a couple of occasions. So I still really need to meet with deaconess. I need to meet with benevolence. I need to meet with pastoral care and armor bearers as soon as possible. Reverend Iris Sandage, she has intercessors, Sunday school, vacation Bible school, children's church, faith and healing, which is our medical staff or our nursing staff, food services, grief ministry, summer youth program that's not active right now because of COVID. And then she also has ushers. And then Sister Tanya Harris has our men's ministry, women's ministry. We're not active right now. Our couples ministry, Golden Circle, visitation, evangelism, clothing ministry, card ministry, missionaries. That's kind of all outreach there. And so those ministries may need to meet all together. And then you have new members, which is just a couple of people, but they have great responsibility, but they need to be on the same page. Jennifer Nivens, she has all of our music and our AV staff and our drama ministry, and also hospitality, which is our greeting staff. And then Kristen, who is added, who is added to this crew. She has our college ministry, which has not been active, but we would like to see get reactivated. She has young adult, that has not been active. She has youth advisors and a youth Bible study, as well as Girl Scouts. And so those are our personnel who are leading our core ministries. And then, of course, we have our deacons ministry. And we've had a change in leadership there. Deacon Martino Smith has rotated off of the deacons ministry, and we do appreciate him for his years of service. However, these are our remaining deacons, and the way that we have those names outlined now, in which those names can be made available to any member that should ask. But let me just encourage you, ma'am and sir, whenever there's anything that occurs that belongs within those cluster leaders or within those ministries, please make sure you direct them to the proper persons. We want to make sure that we eliminate any confusion by making sure we keep things in their proper order. Each ministry, again, each cluster needs to meet with these ministries as soon as possible. Each ministry needs to get moving, establish some goals for their ministries. Please meet, please set goals, please make preparations for what you desire to see happen over the course of these next 4 months. This is what coming up on the fourth Sunday in July. We want to make sure we have those plans in place no later than the fourth Sunday in August. We need plans in place no later than the fourth Sunday in August. And so that means you're planning for September, October, November, and December. We need those plans no later than the fourth Sunday in August. Also, as you're meeting, begin to establish your long-term goals for the new year, so that you can put a feasible plan together and not wait until the last minute to prepare for those things. So as you're preparing for the 4 months, begin to also brainstorm about what we want to see happen in the new year. Everything has to be a production. That's one of the things that we said last night. Everything is a production now, because people are drawn to what they see. And I know right now some things feel like, they're being done very quickly, but we're just coming back. We are just getting our feet back in the water again. And so it does feel like we're having to quickly throw ourselves into service, but we can prepare for what's to come. Nothing takes a long time to do. It really does not. And nothing takes a long time to promote if we all promote it. It can't be just one or two or three, others. It has to be everybody participating. If we have 100 people online, 75% of those should be sharers. Right now, that's not our testimony. Maybe we might have 20 to 25% of people sharing when we share things online. We need to do better with that. Leaders, you have to take the lead in that. That's how we appeal to another audience, because you have your audience now that's seeing what you're doing and they're drawn to that. If you, and I'm going to close with this. Well, let me just say this. We're going to continue with our online Bible study, as I said, for the remainder of this year. But if we are going to be online, I need you online with us. We'll continue with our abbreviated service, especially while we have these masks on. But if we are agreeing to an abbreviated service, we need you to be there to take advantage of that. Please know that the cap in the room that we desire to keep it at for right now is anywhere from 200 to 250 max. That's for any service. no exceptions, because we want to make sure we stay in a place of liability. That's funerals included. We got to make sure we allow for social distancing. Again, that helps us to stay in a place of not being liable, for anything, when we can show that we did what we were supposed to do to keep everybody safe. And so, sometimes family members, have other family members that want to utilize our church or whatever. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate you wanting a place big enough for them to have it, but we have liabilities that we have to be concerned about from the business standpoint, and we cannot overlook that, not in the midst of a pandemic, because we still are in the midst of a pandemic. So keep that in mind. We'll try to keep a cap from 200 to 250, no more than that. Um, and for those ministries, again, that I lead, look out for a date that's soon to come, so that we can make sure that we are on the page, because you are core leadership. And the last thing I'll say is, if you are serving in some capacity, in this post-pandemic era, and you no longer desire to serve, this would be the right time to make the transition. But my prayer is that nobody else will walk away right now, but they would join hands with us, move ministry forward. We lost some great leaders during the pandemic, but God is faithful. We have great leaders who are on our staff. I pray that you will take a deep breath, gird up your loins, and let's get ready to move full speed ahead. There's still work to do. And I believe that God has entrusted us with this assignment for a reason. And I believe that if we are good enough for him to trust with this assignment, then we ought to be obedient enough and submissive enough to walk this thing out. It may take a little work, but I believe that the work can be done. Sure, I'll probably think of something else a little later, but I thank you for your attention with this piece of it. And we'll continue to move full speed ahead. Again, I love y'all dearly. I appreciate your respecting me as your leader. I appreciate you respecting my voice. And I appreciate you following as I follow Christ. All right. Until the next time, guys, take care, everybody.